Hi, my name is Brother John Michael Paul. I'm with the Brothers of St. John, and I'd like to talk to you about a really great ministry that we have called the St. John Paul II House of Discernment. Now I know that already that word discernment could be a little bit scary. What the House of Discernment is a place for all guys to be able to come if they're discerning marriage, if they're discerning call to diocesan priesthood, call to religious life, where you can come, follow the brother's schedule of prayer, adoration, have spiritual direction, confession, attend classes, and try to find out what is God calling to you in order to glorify Him, in order to be able to have greatness enter into your life by following His will.
I've had the opportunity to serve as the leader of the St. John Paul II House of Discernment, which has been going on for 3 years now. And so I've had the joy of accompanying these young men and helping them to at least find a greater clarity as to what God is leading them to.
But there still is this question, like, what is God actually calling me to do? Which I pretty much just pushed off. Kind of afraid of what that would mean if I made a commitment to discern my vocation. It's been only a good decision. Like, everything that I had to give up, my job or all that other stuff, I didn't really lose anything. Like, all that stuff has been pretty like meaningless and empty compared to everything that I've received.
And so if you too are discerning and you are looking for an opportunity to give 9 months of your life to discerning in a more serious manner and in a more direct experience of the various vocations the Church has to offer, then I invite you to consider now applying for the St. John Paul II House of Discernment.
I really had first encountered the community of St. John, and then was slowly looking more and more at religious life and discovering more about religious life, and not necessarily knowing if I was or wasn't, but pretty sure that I was. I eventually was led to the John Paul II House of Discernment. If you really do feel called to take some time to discern where Jesus might be calling you, and you've heard about the John Paul II House of Discernment and you're praying about it, and you're maybe talk to a spiritual director or someone else you know, a friend or something, don't be afraid to say yes if you do feel called. It's not going to be a perfectly clear answer, but it's been so worth it, and you're always going to have people that help you. Like, Jesus isn't just calling us all along on our own, and that's something that JPII House really has done for me. In the context of a community, it's not just me kind of figuring things out on my own.
And during my time as a priest, as an apostle, I've met a lot of young men in the world who are discerning of a vocation to the priesthood or religious life, but yet are struggling because very often it's because they haven't had the opportunity to really know what religious life looks like, or to really experience the priesthood or the different vocation options that are a part of the Church in a very profound way. And so I came up with the idea of the St. John Paul II House of Discernment in order to provide in a very simple way this opportunity, this experience to young men who are wanting to discern a vocation to either priesthood or religious life.
It's not going to be perfectly easy, but it's worth it, and it's really I think where Jesus can come to meet us the most.
So you are invited to the St. John Paul II House of Discernment so that you may be able to respond in a confident way to God's call upon you, whatever it may be.